Bindi Irwin was born into a world that was already deeply connected to wildlife, conservation, and public attention. As the daughter of conservationist Steve Irwin and Terry Irwin, she grew up at Australia Zoo in Queensland, Australia, surrounded by animals, caretaking routines, and the constant energy of a working wildlife sanctuary. From a very young age, her life was shaped by her family's mission to protect wildlife and educate people about nature. Unlike most children, her "playground" was often the zoo itself, where learning and responsibility blended together naturally. Even her name reflects her father's love for animals and personal connections. Bindi was named after a crocodile Steve Irwin cared about, while her middle name, Sue, was inspired by the family dog. These small details became symbolic of how closely her identity was tied to the world her parents built. Growing up, she wasn't just observing conservation work, she was actively part of it, learning early what it meant to care for animals, communicate with the public, and carry forward a legacy. This unique upbringing laid the foundation for everything she would later become, both personally and professionally. A childhood in the spotlight. Bindi's childhood was far from ordinary, as she began appearing in television programs and wildlife documentaries while still very young. One of her earliest projects, Bindi the Jungle Girl, introduced her to audiences around the world and showed her natural ease in front of the camera. While most children were focused on school and play, she was already balancing filming schedules, public appearances, and education. Despite the attention, she carried herself with a sense of confidence that reflected both her upbringing and her genuine love for animals. Her early exposure to media also meant she quickly became a recognizable face internationally. As she grew older, she continued to take on new opportunities, including participating in entertainment programs such as Dancing with the Stars, where she impressed audiences with her discipline and determination. However, behind the public image of a cheerful young conservationist, there was also the challenge of growing up under constant visibility. Every stage of her development happened in front of cameras and audiences, which brought both opportunities and pressures that shaped her early understanding of identity and responsibility. Life beyond the cameras, family and purpose. As Bindi transitioned into adulthood, her life expanded beyond television appearances into broader conservation and leadership roles. She became actively involved in running Australia Zoo alongside her mother, Terry Irwin, and her brother, Robert Irwin. Together, the family continued Steve Irwin's legacy, focusing on wildlife education, habitat protection, and global conservation efforts. For Bindi, this work was not just a career, it was a lifelong purpose deeply rooted in family values and personal belief. Outside of her professional responsibilities, she also built a family of her own. Her marriage to Chandler Powell marked a new chapter in her life, and the birth of their daughter brought a new dimension to her sense of meaning and responsibility. Balancing motherhood with leadership roles and public life required constant adjustment, but she often expressed gratitude for being able to live a life connected to both family and purpose. While her public image often reflects positivity and energy, her daily life involves the same balancing act many people face, managing work, family, and personal well-being under ongoing demands. Quiet struggles with ongoing health challenges. Behind her active and public life, Bindi faced long-term health challenges that were not immediately visible to others. For years, she experienced persistent physical discomfort that affected her daily routines, energy levels, and overall quality of life. Like many people with undiagnosed conditions, she continued to work, travel, and fulfill responsibilities while trying to manage symptoms privately. Because there was no clear explanation at first, the experience was often confusing and emotionally draining. Over time, the lack of answers created additional stress. She underwent various medical evaluations in search of clarity, but initial results did not provide a definitive diagnosis. This uncertainty is something many individuals with chronic health conditions experience, especially when symptoms do not immediately point to a specific cause. During this period, she continued to maintain her public responsibilities while privately dealing with discomfort and uncertainty. Her experience reflects a broader issue in healthcare, where symptoms, particularly in women, can sometimes be overlooked or misunderstood, leading to delays in diagnosis and treatment. Finding answers and a life-changing diagnosis. After years of ongoing symptoms, Bindi eventually received a diagnosis of endometriosis, a condition where tissue similar to the uterine lining grows outside the uterus. This condition can cause significant discomfort and is often difficult to diagnose because symptoms vary widely and can resemble other health issues. For many individuals, it takes several years before a correct diagnosis is reached, and Bindi's experience reflected that reality. Receiving an explanation brought both relief and clarity. It helped her understand the source of her long-term health struggles and opened the door to more targeted medical care. Like many others with the condition, she learned that treatment often requires a combination of medical support, lifestyle adjustments, and sometimes surgical intervention. Sharing her diagnosis publicly also became an important moment, as it helped raise awareness about a condition that affects millions of people worldwide, but is still widely under-discussed. Her openness contributed to broader conversations about listening to patients' experiences and improving early diagnosis in women's health, treatment, surgery, and recovery journey. Following her diagnosis, Bindi underwent medical treatment and surgical procedures aimed at addressing the condition and improving her quality of life. These procedures involved careful removal of affected tissue and additional treatments to manage related complications. Recovery from such interventions is often gradual and requires ongoing medical monitoring, rest, and lifestyle adjustments. During this time, she balanced healing with family life and professional responsibilities, which required patience and support from those around her. Her recovery journey was not just physical but also emotional. After years of uncertainty, finally having answers allowed her to better understand her body and focus on healing. She has spoken about the importance of finding specialists who are experienced in treating endometriosis, as well as advocating for more awareness so others can reach diagnosis sooner. Her experience highlights how complex chronic health conditions can be, and how important it is for individuals to receive informed and timely care. Over time, her condition became more manageable, allowing her to focus more fully on recovery and daily life. Turning pain into advocacy and awareness, one of the most impactful outcomes of Bindi's health journey has been her decision to speak openly about her experience. Rather than keeping it private, she has used her platform to raise awareness about endometriosis and encourage others to seek medical help if they experience similar symptoms. Her message often emphasizes listening to one's body and not dismissing persistent pain, especially when it affects daily life. By sharing her story, she has contributed to reducing stigma around women's health issues and encouraged more open discussions between patients and medical professionals. Many people have found comfort in knowing they are not alone in their experiences, and her advocacy has helped bring attention to the need for better education and earlier diagnosis. She has also worked with health organizations to support research and awareness campaigns, reinforcing her commitment to making a positive impact beyond her personal experience. This shift from private struggle to public advocacy has added another meaningful dimension to her role as a public figure. A new chapter: healing, family, and impact. Today, Bindi continues to focus on balancing her health, family life, and conservation work. While recovery from chronic conditions is often ongoing, she has expressed a sense of progress and stability after years of uncertainty. Her daily life now includes caring for her daughter, working at Australia Zoo, and participating in conservation efforts that remain central to her identity. These responsibilities reflect a life built around purpose, even in the face of personal challenges. Her journey has also had a broader cultural impact, encouraging conversations about women's health, patient advocacy and the importance of early diagnosis.